Wild Review. I'm the Wild Reviewer, and today I'm going to review a thing. Have you ever given a review on something and years later you wonder if what you said still holds up? Well, I have! Hi there, I'm the Wild Reviewer, or at least I was told that's who I am, and this is Rewild, a sequel series to an old review show I used to do called The Wild Review. It ran for 6 seasons from 2015 to 2018, and some of the things that I've talked about I have different opinions on, or maybe I don't. That's the whole point of this series. If you are watching this, then that means you are joining me on an adventure as we are going to take a journey into my past to see if what I said in a previous Wild Review episode still holds up. We're gonna make comments about how young I used to look and stupid I used to sound sometimes. It kinda depends on what I was talking about. So, unless you have somewhere else important you need to be, which I highly doubt, seems like you're gonna be taking a journey with me into the past. This is the Wild Review Rewild.
Wild like wild.
I thought the name was cool. Hello, welcome to the Wild Review. I'm the Wild Reviewer, and welcome back to another episode of Rewild. Today we are going to look at Cartoon Network. Yay! Specifically, we are looking at the current shows video for Cartoon Network, which was my second video on Cartoon Network going over everything that was playing on the network at the time. The first one was relatively similar to the Nickelodeon video I did, where it wasn't me on camera, it was me looking at the Wikipedia page and making a comment on everything they were playing. I looked that video over last season, so that's out there if you want to check it out. The first video I did on Cartoon Network was essentially going over what is considered the renaissance of Cartoon Network, because as a lot of you may know, in 2010 a lot of great shows started to air. They had Adventure Time and Regular Show, The Amazing World of Gumball and Steven Universe were finding their footing. Even shows like Clarence and Uncle Grandpa, which weren't as popular but have a little following, those aired also. There of course were some other shows such as Mad and The Annoying Orange TV show, which weren't the biggest hits on the network. I think Incredible Crew was also on at that time, so a little weird placement there, but for a while those were the top shows on Cartoon Network, and it actually kicked off a new era of Cartoon Network. Also, Teen Titans Go was there. I could have easily gone over that video because a lot of the shows I mentioned are obviously not airing anymore. Some of them have either had series finales or they just were canceled out of nowhere, or maybe finished off on a very quiet manner. For some reason this video I felt would be a little more interesting, I guess because it was the most recent one, and also I don't fully remember all the shows that I talked about in this video. I remembered a few of them. I knew We Bare Bears was one of them, but I don't remember every show that I talked about. I believe I talked about Powerpuff Girls. The first one is very memorable because I knew what shows I was talking about. This one I have no idea. I'm essentially going in blind. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to look over this video. It was a season 5 episode. And when we're done, we're actually going to go on the Wikipedia page of Cartoon Network and we're going to look to see what they have playing now. Now, I kind of know what it is because I still watch Cartoon Network, but we get to check out the fun and interesting things that they have cooking up. Maybe there's stuff that I don't know about. I don't know. Let's find out. This is the Cartoon Network Rewild. Again, the lineup is obviously very different because it's been 2 years since that video came out, and there's been a whole new batch of cartoons that have aired ever since that video was made. Not only that, but a lot has happened with these cartoons that I originally mentioned. Uncle Grandpa has been officially canceled. Regular Show ended actually earlier this year. Adventure Time and Steven Universe have become one of those shows that are there on the network but don't get much airtime that they deserve. Clarence is slowly on the verge of getting canceled. I remember seeing somewhere it's going to end on its 3rd season, which it currently is on. And The Amazing World of Gumball is also slowly on the verge of getting canceled, I think. I remember seeing somewhere by its 6th season, it's over. In fact, I think they even canceled the movie because of this decision. So this was made in 2017. I thought that would be a bit important for you to know, so you get an idea of what time period we're in. Well, time period may not be the right word. You know what time period we're in. Quick little overview on these 7 shows, the original that I already talked about, which I clearly am going over right now. Adventure Time ended happily. That's a way to put it. It had a series finale. I did see the series finale. I thought it was fantastic. I'll be honest though, Adventure Time, they lost me a little bit within season 6 and 7, maybe even 8. Regular show, they had a finale. Looking back on it now, season 8 was The space story was kind of cool. I actually think I talked about the regular show finale. The Amazing World of Gumball just got funnier as it aired. It did air its final season about 3 years ago, and they ended it on a cliffhanger. Now there is talk that they're making a movie. There's been this rumor for years that there's going to be an Amazing World of Gumball movie. There are plans now. They are going forward with the movie, and they are going forward with plans of a reboot of the Amazing World of Gumball. But again, we're going to talk about this. We'll come back to this. Uncle Grandpa, that ended. That's kind of it. Clarence, very similar. I feel like over time they didn't treat Clarence with the respect it needed. They just kind of aired Clarence at random times and aired multiple episodes as if they're like kicking Clarence off the network. But I remember the finale of that episode also, and I thought it was very heartwarming, and I thought it was very nice. Steven Universe, that can be a whole discussion on its own, but the finale of the show was great. Which finale am I talking about, though? I am realizing right now that there were technically 3 endings to Steven Universe. You had the ending, which was the Change Your Mind special. That was absolutely fantastic. And then there was the movie that aired right after Change Your Mind, which was a 2-year jump from that special. The movie was absolutely great also. The animation was fantastic, and the songs were really catchy. And then for a while they did a little mini-series, Steven Universe Future, which was cute. Did we need it? Not really, but it was cool to see all these characters grown up. And that was, as far as I know right now, the real finale of Steven Universe. It was like an epilogue series, but I think Change Your Mind is the perfect ending to the show. And Teen Titans Go, well, they're still going. So this is the updated Cartoon Network show lineup review video, and just to make it perfectly clear, the following shows that I am listing down below on this screen are the shows I am not touching upon because they are absolutely awful, and I forbid to talk about them. I have seen these shows, but they're not worth talking about. In fact, they were shows that aired like the first week, and then they just were gone. I don't even remember My Night and Me. Hold on a second. Oh, yeah. I remember this now. I never watched this. Though, to be fair, it would make perfect sense why I would not talk about these shows because I haven't seen them. I think saying because they're absolutely horrible, I don't think that's a great excuse. I think the better answer is because I did not see anything when it came to these shows. Actually, that's a lie. I saw Wabbit, and I saw Be Cool Scooby-Doo. It's just I didn't watch so much of it. Like in comparison to regular show where I'd seen every episode. I didn't see every Wabbit. I didn't see every Scooby-Doo. I mean, Wabbit was just modern-day Looney Tunes cartoons with different animation. They were much shorter. Eventually, Wabbit became the new Looney Tunes shorts, and they got a new redesign, and I mean, it's Looney Tunes. It's not classic Looney Tunes like we're used to, but it was Looney Tunes. And then there was Be Cool Scooby-Doo, which had a really weird low-budget animation style and was kind of a more goofy Scooby-Doo. I don't know what it is, now thinking of it, with lazy animation when it comes to these reboots and shows. I mean, we're gonna touch upon this because it's starting to come to me that I think I may have actually talked about the Ben 10 reboot in this. But if that's the case, I remember the Ben 10 reboot didn't look so great. Like, it had a weird low-budget animation style. Why did we go from such high standard, a lot of work was put into this animation style, to, here you go, here's the cartoon. It's laziness. That's what it is, laziness. But no, I've never seen My Night and Me. I don't have an interest either. I think that was an acquired show. We Bare Bears! I think out of all the shows I'm touching upon in this review, this is the show that I give most credit to, and is probably the one I put on the highest rating. If I had to rate all of these shows in this video, this one would definitely be number one, because, I don't know, it's just really good. We Bare Bears is a story of 3 bears who are considered brothers. Yeah, I'm going to touch upon that in a minute. As they live in San Francisco, as their main goal is to try to fit in with the norm, society, and make friends with the human race. We Bare Bears was a very nice show. It was a nice show that you could turn on and you could just relax for 10 minutes. It wasn't anything great, but it was a fun show. It was a nice show to sit back and watch. In comparison to Steven Universe and Adventure Time, there really wasn't a main story that was trying to be told. There weren't any major villains. I mean, the little koala, Mau Mau. Mau Mau. Nom Nom. It's Nom Nom. Mau Mau's another cartoon on Cartoon Network. Nom Nom, he's technically an antagonist in the show, but, you know, it wasn't like high stakes animation. It was, here's something to keep you occupied for about 10 minutes, and that's what I really liked about it. I like that kind of storytelling. It doesn't always have to be super and adventurous. You can just do whatever sometimes with animation. That's what they did with The Amazing World of Gumball. They just told the story for 10 minutes. I kind of fail to see how these 3 are brothers, though. I mean, maybe it's just a bear instinct. Maybe all bears are brothers. I don't exactly know how that works. Oh, well, you might need to wait until the movie to find that out. That's right, they have a movie, and I saw it. The movie was cute, it was fun, and it served as the series finale to We Bare Bears. I get the sense that anytime Cartoon Network does a movie, they instantly become the finale of the show. I thought it was cute. It had a cute ending. But We Bare Bears, really good. Mighty Magisaurs. So, I'd like to say something about this show. Thing is, I don't know much about this show. I could have included it as one of those shows that I listed at the bottom. You know, like Scooby-Doo and the Wabbit and My Night and Me. I could have added it there, but I didn't. Because there's actually something very interesting about this show I wanted to touch upon, but I don't think it was much of a success because I don't see it on TV anymore. That's the theme song. That's the theme song to Mighty Magisaurs, which I don't have that much knowledge on because I never watched it. I may have seen one episode, maybe one short, because it was a short series for a while. But they never played it. That's my only excuse as to why I don't know much of the show. They never played the show. There's about 46 episodes to this show. They're still on their first season. It aired in 2015, and I don't know where this show is going. I don't know if it's still running and I'm just missing the episodes, if they're airing it at like 6 in the morning, because Cartoon Network does that sometimes. Why do you do that? Hey, you gonna interrupt your Teen Titans Go marathon? Guess what? You do that like 7 times a week. I would have liked to have seen a lot more of Mighty Magisaur. I think it had a lot of potential. The only thing I could say about Mighty Magisaurs is they did an interesting thing where they actually connected with the viewers of Cartoon Network and did somewhat of a Magisaur collecting thing. I don't know the whole name of it, but let's put it this way. So when it used to be known as New Thursdays instead of New Fridays on Cartoon Network, new episodes would play on Thursdays and they would be hosted by the Mighty Magisaur characters. During the premieres of these new episodes, there would be a little thing that flashes on the bottom, and that would signal the viewers to use the Cartoon Network app to actually collect the Magisaur. So throughout the premieres of these episodes, and even other episodes that would premiere during the day on weekends, little icons would pop up at the bottom of the shows, and it would signal the viewers that they can collect their own Magiswords. The Magisword collecting was actually a really cool idea to have on a kids' network, and I think it connected very well with the devices that we have. Like, it was something fun that the kids could have done as they were watching their favorite cartoons, and that kicked off for a while, and I think even to this day, they stick with that. You can, like, collect these little virtual figures. So that was really cool, and I think a show like Mighty Magisword, where they would collect swords, is that what they were about? Did I just say something that was not true about the show? But if that's the case, collecting swords fits very well with the idea of having the audience collect swords on their own as they're watching. I thought that'd be pretty cool. The Powerpuff Girls! Yay! Oh my god. So you remember the 2015 special they did? Right? It was 2015? Alright, well, you remember the special that they did? The poorly animated one? The one that looks like absolute trash? Yeah. So after that viewing, I'm assuming that it got a lot of ratings, which triggered the people at Cartoon Network to say, hey, this was pretty good. Let's bring the show back because people like this. The Powerpuff Girls. Hey, did you know that they are making another Powerpuff Girls show? Actually, I think they're doing... Are they still doing the live action one? A few months ago, maybe about a year ago, I think. I think it's a year ago. They were in production on a live action Powerpuff Girls show, and they shot the pilot, and I think it was for the CW. It came back with so many notes, and they essentially wanted everybody to redo the pilot because it was just wrong. I remember I saw a photo of the three girls in their costumes. They are not toddlers, they're clearly in their 20s. Are they still doing that? They still doing a live action Powerpuff Girl show? Ah, well, whatever. But the original creator of Powerpuff Girls has announced that he's bringing back both Powerpuff Girls and Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Isn't that fun? Let's see if they do this Powerpuff Girl reboot right, but in terms of this one, the 2016 one, oh my god, was that bad. I guess a lot of the shows that came after Teen Titans Go saw how successful Teen Titans Go was and felt, you know what, who needs serious storytelling? Kids love farts and burps and random stuff happening and online memes and cute cats, so let's just make a show about that. That's what the Powerpuff Girls felt like. Powerpuff Girls felt like another version of Teen Titans Go. In fact, it was so similar that they did a crossover. About a few months ago, they had a special event where they introduced a fourth Powerpuff Girl, because we needed that. She only made her appearance in that special and then just went off, just disappeared forever. So supposedly the professor wanted to make the perfect girl daughter. So he tried multiple times. The Powerpuff Girls were the last couple that he made, but he made one before them. She's not the fourth Powerpuff Girl. You can consider her the first one, I guess. I failed to see where that whole special was going. I saw the fourth Powerpuff Girl special. I hated it so much. I legitimately thought it was going to be an interesting story, and it wasn't. It was a complete disappointment. I hated every moment of it. And then she just left. Right? That's what happened. She just left at the end, right? Ben 10! Yeah. Here's another reboot. Or a new revived show. And I actually watched this Ben 10 by accident one day. It was just on my TV. And I was like, alright, we can give this a try. And it's not that bad, but the original was better. And I've seen the original Ben 10. Here we go, Ben 10. I had a feeling Ben 10 would be in this. So this was my first Ben 10 series. I wasn't a Ben 10 person, kid. I didn't grow up with Ben 10. Ben 10 had 3 shows before this, like 3 different spin-offs. This is to date the latest one, I think. And for the most part, the animation is kind of iffy. Like, it looks very cheap. and I want to say it falls into the same ball field Teen Titans Go and the Powerpuff Girls was in. Since then, I have seen other episodes of Ben 10, like the original Ben 10, and they are much better than this Ben 10. But for the most part, I think it was alright. Like, it was okay. I remember a while ago when they aired this, they did the multiverse episode. Kind of similar to what Spider-Man No Way Home was. They just brought in a bunch of different Ben 10s to fight all these villains. Is that even right? They fought a villain. I just remember there were multiple Ben 10s. And I think that was also the series finale to this Ben 10. Okay, KO, let's be heroes! At the moment, OKKO is the current and most recent new Cartoon Network show that has aired. It aired about, I think, a month ago in September. And it's pretty adorable. I would say out of this whole list of these new Cartoon Network shows, because this is the last one, the whole list, I would say this comes in second place compared to everything else. OKKO, Let's Be Heroes is a show that I consider to be second place when it comes to this list of cartoons. It's definitely one of the more better ones. The story was cute, I really enjoyed watching it, and I'm very sad that it had to end the way it did. I mean, it had a finale, it just was treated really poorly. They had the similar issue that Adventure Time had when it came to promotions. Like, I don't understand how you can have a show promote the premiere of it and then just kind of let it roam around and then eventually phase it out by not mentioning it anymore. I mean, Cartoon Network acknowledges OKKO. That's the one thing that I appreciate about the network, is that they do acknowledge all of their content. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say that. Yeah, OKKO. It's okay. It's good. It was funny and cute. I don't know, I think it could be a hit. Yeah, it could become the next Steven Universe, because that's the kind of vibe I'm getting at. Could be the next Steven Universe. Maybe if it had an extra few seasons, it definitely would have been. They had a crossover with Captain Planet and Sonic! I just want to throw that out there. Okay, well, that's all I had to say on this batch of cartoons for Cartoon Network. This was also the final Cartoon Network video that I did in terms of going over the shows that were on the network. There is something a bit important that I have to kind of address about Cartoon Network and its content, seeing that today's date is August 23rd, 2022, and just recently we had some news come to the surface, and a lot of people, including myself, are not that thrilled about it, but we're going to save that for the end, because right now I want to go over real quick what is coming up on Cartoon Network and what they are currently playing now. Let me give a little overview and some of my thoughts on the current stuff they have on Cartoon Network. I may have already talked about some of it in a later video, maybe specifically the video where I was catching things up before I did the Christmas miniseries. But for right now, let's look some stuff over. Okay, so we have currently on Cartoon Network, Craig of the Creek, Summer Camp Island, Victor and Valentino, and We Baby Bears. Alright, now Craig of the Creek. How does Summer Camp Island have 5 seasons already? Craig of the Creek, easily one of the best shows on the network at the moment. I think the diversity in it is incredible. There is definitely a lot of diversity in this show, but putting that aside, it's just an overall really enjoyable show, a very fun show. I love the story that they're telling. We're currently in the middle of season 4, and the whole other side of the creek thing is kind of over with. Should I be saying that? If you haven't seen Craig of the Creek yet, is that a big spoiler? Uh-oh. But I like Craig of the Creek. I think it's a very fun show. It's very enjoyable. It feels like a nostalgic Cartoon Network show. Like, I could see it crunched in the middle along with Ed, Edd n Eddy and Codename Kids Next Door. I think it fits very well with the Cartoon Network brand. Summer Camp Island, I don't know much about the show. It looked very interesting to watch. I did see some of the first few episodes, but that's all I can say on the show, because they took it off Cartoon Network and put them on HBO Max, and I don't have HBO Max, so I couldn't see the rest of the show. But it looked fun. It looked like a lot of fun. I just couldn't join the camp because I'd have to pay $15 a month or do a free trial. But who wants to do a free trial if you're going to watch a show that's still airing? Victor and Valentino, this is another show that I really enjoy. I haven't seen the latest episodes, but I think it's a really fun show. I think the story is really interesting. It's kind of with Craig of the Creek, where I could see it being part of a Cartoon Network brand. It's got that Cartoon Network charm to it. We Baby Bears. I have not seen much of We Baby Bears, but from what I have seen, it's pretty adorable. However, I don't think it was necessary, because we got a lot of the Baby Bear stories in We Bear Bears already. I know this show is a little different. It deals with them traveling in a magic box and they're talking to all these creatures. It's an anime show. You know, it's done very anime style, which is fine. Yeah. It's on TV. It's cute. Next up we have the Warner Brothers animation. There's Teen Titans Go, DC Superhero Girls, Looney Tune cartoons, and Jellystone. I mean, we know what I had to say about Teen Titans Go. I don't watch DC Superhero Girls. I've seen some of the Looney Tune cartoons. They're Looney Tunes. They're not like the old Looney Tunes. We kind of went over this. Jellystone, though, this is a show that I've seen a number of episodes of, and it was an HBO Max original, but for a little time they aired it on Cartoon Network, and I really liked it. It takes all those Hanna-Barbera cartoons and puts them in one town, and that's just really original and creative. And it's by the same guy who did Chowder and Harvey Beaks. He's getting another chance at making a cartoon, and so far they've only had one season. Has this show been canceled? Oh! They're renewed, never mind. Good for him. Jellystone is a fun show to watch. I enjoyed watching it. For the small amount of time that it was on Cartoon Network, I definitely enjoyed what I saw. Acquired programming, Lamput? What is Lamput? Lamput is an Indian anime... Ah, okay, there we go. In the United States, Lamput is broadcasted via HBO Max. It started airing in Cartoon Network as of May? When did this happen? Repeats of ended programming. We have We Bear Bears, we know that. Teen Titans, that does air on TV from time to time now, specifically in the morning. The Amazing World of Gumball, I already talked about that show. We know what my thoughts are on that. Total Drama Rama. Wait, did this end? Holy Christ! The show is over! I don't think I've talked about Total Drama Rama. I probably did in the catch-up video, but Total Drama Rama de-aged all the Total Drama Island characters. I almost said Total Drama Rama. They put them in a daycare. Don't know why you would do that, but I guess it had an audience. It lasted for 3 seasons. Now we have the Cartoonito programming, but we're not going to go over that because I don't watch Cartoonito. Cartoonito is essentially the Cartoon Network version of Nick Jr. That started up in September of last year, so it's by this point it's going to be a year, which meant I had to find something new to watch in the morning as they aired this. Alright, here we go. Upcoming programming. We have Gross Girls, Batu, and Invincible Fight Girl. Well, I can't click on any of these, so I don't think I can give my opinion because I know nothing about these shows. But I hope they come out good. I hope they tell good stories. In the Warner Brothers animation, we have Tiny Toons Luniversary. I have heard about this. It's the Tiny Toons reboot that they're doing. The Adventures of Superman, obviously a DC show. I'm not much into Superman, and I'm not too into the DC universe yet, but hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's not like a weird, low-budget animated show like Thundercats Roar. That was a Cartoon Network show for a while, and that was horrible. And Teen Titans Go, The Night Begins to Shine. This is a show I think a lot of people are looking forward to because they like The Night Begins to Shine stories. I, for one, don't personally care, but if they can tell an interesting story and keep people's attention, go for it. In the Hanna-Barbera Studios Europe section, we have The Heroic Quest of the Valiant Prince Evandot. Okay. Then we have The Amazing World of Gumball, the series, which is obviously the reboot I mentioned. Wacky New Year, and the second Powerpuff Girls reboot. Aside from The Amazing World of Gumball and the Powerpuff Girls, I can't say anything on Wacky New Year because I don't know what that's all about. Again, I can't click it, so guess we're just going to have to wait. If we even get it at all. Now we have live action and live action / animated series. Because this is something that is also starting to become a thing again. Cartoon Network is going to dip their toes back into the world of live action content. Let's say it together, everybody. You're watching Cartoon Network. There's no such thing as live action on Cartoon Network. Home Sweet Rome, Tweety Mysteries, and Family Mashup. Tweety Mysteries, is that supposed to be a Looney Tune thing? Is that why it says live action / animated series? Is it going to be a hybrid? Is it going to be like the Fairly Odd Parents reboot? Is it? Acquired programming. American co-productions. New Child of Wonder. Canadian co-productions. Total Drama Revival. That one I've heard about. I'm interested in that. I actually like Total Drama. European co-productions. Jade Armor. And then we have Jessica's Big Little World, which is a Craig of the Creek spinoff that's going to be on Cartoonito. I'm in the Cartoonito section. Alright, well, we're already here. Let's go over it. We got Bat Wheels, Tom and Jerry Time, Scooby-Doo and the Mystery Pups. The acquired... we don't need the acquired programming. Acme Night programming. We have Unicorn, Warriors Eternal, and the Warner Brothers animation Batman, Caped Crusader, and Gremlins, Secret of the Mogwai. Mogwai. Well, that's Cartoon Network right now. And now I think it's appropriate for me to bring up the whole HBO Max situation. I'm sorry to say that we have lost a few people on their journey. Poor souls. As of right now, HBO Max is currently in the mix when it comes to a new business deal, a merger. In the next year or so, HBO Max will not be known as HBO Max, probably, because Warner Brothers and Discovery have combined forces, and they have formed Warner Brothers Discovery. From what I understand, they are going to be merging their streaming sites to be one big streaming site, but as of last week, they started to delete a bunch of content off of the streaming platform, so shows such as Infinity Train, which is a show I did not mention at all. I don't even think I've talked about it once. It was a fantastic show. I couldn't watch the rest of it because I didn't have HBO Max, but that's now gone. Episodes of Uncle Grandpa are gone. Summer Camp Island. Tig and Seek, another show that I never really got to see, which was apparently a Cartoon Network thing. I think Victor and Valentino, that's also off HBO Max. The Fungies, whatever those things are, the fungus people. Even some episodes of Sesame Street have been taken off the platform, and I think that's a humongous shame. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes personally. I hope things get sorted out. Unfortunately, this also falls within the world of Cartoon Network because you can't find them anywhere on their YouTube channels or the Twitter accounts. Specifically Infinity Train, I don't know about the other shows, but it's not fun. It's not fun at all. And some other shows and productions, they have either been canceled or the productions have just halted. I know there was a new Scooby-Doo movie, the sequel to Scoob, that was canceled. There's another film, a Cartoon Network film that I think was almost done, and they completely canceled that. It was a space film. And the Gumball movie also, which is in production, the production has, I think, halted because it's not going to be on HBO Max anymore. It's not going to be funded by HBO Max, so I guess they need a new home. But for now, I know a lot of people are very disappointed, and I am too. And honestly, the only thing we can do is just kind of wait to see if something else comes out of all of this. For now, though, that brings us to the end of this episode of Rewild. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you would like to see the actual review that I looked at today, that will be in the description below, along with Season 1's playlist of Rewild. I want to know what your thoughts on Cartoon Network are nowadays. What do you think of the network? What did you think of it back then? What did you think what I had to say about here and right here also? Do you agree with what I said back then or now? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and also leave me suggestions for whatever other video of mine you'd like to see me talk about in Rewild. Again, I got a few of these already lined up, but I could always take some suggestions for future episodes. That's going to be it for today, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week when I do another Rewild. Thanks again for watching The Wild Review on The Wild Reviewer, and you just saw me review a thing.
Wild like wild.